We've got Robert Charles with us, the former Assistant Secretary of State for President George W. Bush. Robert, what is at stake in your mind for the president? He is going to be scrutinized. It's one thing for the press corps to do it, our politicians to do it, but this is all the global leaders and a couple of new ones doing it. And it obviously means every move he takes is sort of seen through that prism. Is he up to the job of leading the world, essentially? That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think, Neil, you have two things going on here. One is showcasing Biden and trying to resuscitate him. And I think the NATO leaders that like him better than Trump will probably try to help him resuscitate himself. We'll see whether he can do that. But the bigger issue is really what's going on behind the scenes that's substantive. And I think realism is really something that, in the heart of hearts, all of these members have to be thinking about. What's going on right now, as you just reported, 23 of 32 members paid their 2%. That's up from 3 in 2014. But the bigger reality is that the United States has already put between $52 billion and $60 billion on the table for Ukraine. On average, the rest of the other 31 members have put $1.7 billion. Meantime, as we put $52 billion on the table for that, only $17 billion for our own border.
That's wild. You know, it's interesting, too, with the attention back on the president and his health. A number of the leaders I've spoken to there, including Latvia's president yesterday, they sort of parceled a little bit differently, Robert, saying it's not about the man, it's about NATO's mission. I want you to respond to this. This is from Latvia's president. Do you have faith in President Biden? He had this pretty bad debate. I can't say that in any other language, but English to say that that's the worldwide interpretation anyway. Did that debate trouble you?
Well, I think that it wouldn't be wise to comment on internal politics of any of NATO member states. I wouldn't be very happy that anyone comments on the Latvian internal politics. But I think that what is very important that here at NATO summit we do concentrate on a couple of things. Support for Ukraine, also support for eastern flank nations, but let's not forget also about another factor that we are going to discuss here at NATO, and that's China. Whether American people will be judging also the NATO summit from the internal political point of view, I would leave that debate for Americans.
Fair enough argument there, Robert. But what he's saying is that the Ukrainian mission is vital. Most of the members are still intent on doing their best to help Ukraine in its fight against Russia. Growing concerns that Donald Trump, should he come back, might not feel that way. What do you think?
I think Donald Trump probably is a realist, and he wants to see a peaceful outcome in that. We need an end game, Neil. We have no end game. The notion that this will be another perpetual war, irreversible funding forever, really all lies on the United States. The greatest part of the force structure of NATO is the United States, and we, again, have funded the bulk of this. So, you know, I was in Riga, Latvia, not that long ago, and Latvia has a special interest, obviously, in keeping Russia at bay because they could be on the front lines if Russia did get more hungry. But, you know, the end game here is China is, as others have said, as Jack Keane said, China's supporting Russia. And, you know, this is either going to be a forever war, Afghanistan version 2, or we're going to say no, an end game is important here. We have other conflicts to be prepared for, and we're not going to drain our inventory and our budget while Europe just basically sits back and waits for us to fight their war for them.
You know, the one thing I've admired about you over the years, Robert, is how much you know your history, your military history, your human being history, your presidential history. And I was thinking this, knowing you would be on, about Joe Biden and whether he's up to the job, the cognitive thing. That was on full display, whether people like it or not, in that debate. And we didn't have the same liberties, or Americans didn't know a lot about the rapidly declining health of FDR in his final year in office. Yeah. Very few even knew that he was confined to a wheelchair. We had very little knowledge of Woodrow Wilson and the impact of a stroke that had his wife pretty much running the country at the time. So by and large, the world didn't know what we saw front and center today. Very different examples, I grant you, Robert, before you properly correct me on that. But this idea, it's a big change to see it and to know it now. What do you make of that?
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right, Neil, and I'll bring personal experience to this. Obviously, neither one of us are alive during the periods of time of Wilson and FDR. The social media, the media are far more forward-leaning now and immediate than they were then. But, you know, I've known Joe Biden for many years. I used to talk to him by phone and in person when I was training the Iraqi police under Colin Powell. He is not the same man that he was. There's just no question about that. And I was unanimously confirmed as an assistant Secretary of State, and Joe Biden was the guy that chaired that hearing. And you know, that guy was, I didn't agree with him always, but he was dynamic. He was always thinking ahead. You see someone here who is not only in decline, but it seems to me in rapid decline. And is it unsafe for the country? Probably. We have enough people around him at the Pentagon, at the State Department, in the White House, that immediate decisions are well informed. But I will say, you know, I'm worried because this guy obviously cannot stand another 4 years. And I think the question is really, how does the nation look at this front on, the way they couldn't with FDR, the way they couldn't with Wilson, the way we can now, and how do we resolve this so that we get good leadership and the country is protected from a national security perspective?
That is very well put, Robert. And outside of this, and I will disagree with you, I was around for the Wilson thing and the FDR thing. No, I wasn't. But a very good perspective on this. You're quite right. What you know now could have a big impact on where we go now. Robert Charles, former Assistant Secretary of State for President George W. Bush, former Naval Intelligence Officer, litigator. He's the real McCoy, the real deal.